So Dallas Cowboys OTAs are not even over, but there's already a group of players on the hot seat according to a national analyst. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Mauricio Rodriguez here at A to Z Sports Dallas, and today we are talking Dallas Cowboys OTAs, but specifically, we're talking a take from a national analyst, and that is none other than Benjamin Solak from ESPN, who put out an article listing like 100 thoughts divided in different categories around the entire NFL, and he had this very interesting section where it was 11 jobs with question marks. And he looked at several things from teams like, for example, the Texans wide receiver situation, the Colts and whatever is happening with their quarterback room with Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. And the Dallas Cowboys were on the list, and they were on the list with a group of players that Solak argues are already on the hot seat. And he's talking about the entirety of the Dallas Cowboys running back room. And I'll be honest, it is hard to argue against his description. According to Solak, the Cowboys were seemingly unsatisfied with their committee approach featuring Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott last season, but for some reason beyond my understanding, they are set to enter a camp with a committee featuring Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and rookie fifth-rounder Jaden Blue. Surely this year the Cowboys won't be punished by not having a back they can trust. And I think some way, somehow, we've all thought about this. But I'll tell you what the most intriguing part about the whole thing is. But first, some context for Solak's comments. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders have not averaged over 4 yards per rushing attempt since over 2 years ago. And sure, Jaden Blue is exciting and he is explosive, but he's also somebody that we just don't know if he can handle the workload of a true number one. So even if he starts getting these explosive gains during the season, the question will be how many touches a game do the Cowboys think he can handle? And listen, I get it. I'm a Clemson fan. I get the Phil Maffa hype, but I also wonder if people are just getting way too excited about a 7th-round draft pick who was dealing with a shoulder injury in 2024. I just have question marks about him having a secured spot on the 53-man roster. I think he's got to compete for it first. And I'll tell you the most intriguing part about this now. The Cowboys, since Brian Schottenheimer was hired as head coach, they've talked about wanting to run the ball. And if you look at Schottenheimer's play calling stops across his career, that's what he's done. He wants to establish the run. He wants to run the football. He brought in Clayton Adams as offensive coordinator. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the hire. I think Clayton Adams is one of the best things that's happened to the Cowboys this offseason. But it's clearly a hire that indicates a run game approach because he was the offensive line coach for the Arizona Cardinals, and it happened to be an offense that just ran the ball in so many creative ways, using counter, using power, using diverse schemes to keep the defense guessing. And when we've heard Clayton Adams talk about his attack, he has talked about creating violence in the run game. He's talked about getting explosive gains in the run game. He clearly has a focus in that area. So the Cowboys are just saying all of this stuff, and yet they did not emphasize adding a running back. And that intrigues me because I don't know whether to put more stock into what they say about wanting to run the ball or to put more stock into what they do have, which is a wide receiver duo made up of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and then Jake Ferguson at tight end and Jalen Tolbert at number 3. We're talking about the wide receivers here, which seems to be a good playmaking group when it comes to the passing game. I just don't know whether to expect a running team or a passing first team, which might not be the worst idea considering what they have in their lineup. And last but not least, it also brings up the question of, could they look at J.K. Dobbins? Could they look into trading for, say, Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks? Could they make one addition to the running back room before training camp kicks off?